Hello, welcome to Mammo's Life. I am so appreciative that you're here and checking out my channel. And thank you so much for all the comments, emails. I love interacting with you all. I'm loving this more than I thought I would, actually, and it's wonderful. I get very bored, so this is really fulfilling something in my life that's missing. And so thank you so much. I do want to do a little reminder for those of you who've watched it and to let new people know who haven't watched my very first video. I have disabilities, and one of them is my brain issues. They are intermittent, so 1 minute I can be my old halfway intelligent self. 5 minutes later, I can be, ignorant as a doorbell. I don't know. It's what it is. I've gotten used to it. I've lived with it for many, many years. And you just have to do things, adjust your life around those things so you can be productive. And so I might get a couple things wrong or misplaced in the context of something. If you see me going and looking up, it's because I'm trying to remember and process what I'm going to say. Sometimes my speech is affected. And so anyway, just a little reminder to those who watched my video and letting new people know that haven't. Like anything in my life, I've had to adjust things. So I think I'm going to have to start maybe making me not a script, because I don't like to do that, but maybe a bullet point thing off to the side to keep me on track and maybe to remind me of certain things that I want to say correctly. So anyway, there's that. Now, I told you 2 videos ago that I was going to talk about my bad cop story, but it turns out I have 2. I don't know why I forgot about the one, because to me they were both just as scary, but I do have the 2, so I'm gonna let you know. Now, they were years ago, and just for the record, I know that there are bad, dirty cops everywhere, not just in big cities, but in these backwood towns. Murdoch, look what happened there. Where was it? North Carolina, South Carolina, and all that stuff. There are dirty cops everywhere. So I do know that. I also know that there are good cops. So it's like, I think in anything there are good and bad in any group, any religion. So I try to see the best in people and things. Maybe that makes me naive. I don't know. So anyway, my first bad cop story was when I was 18. My daddy was a superintendent who worked for a company who built medical clinics all over the United States, and I believe maybe hospitals. But my daddy did the Midwest. And except he did one in Utah. But all the rest throughout the many, many years, he moved around and built these medical clinics. And I'm not going to tell you the name of the town or even the state that this first one happened in. That's how scared I still am. So I was 18. I was with my parents when they were building a clinic in this particular town. And I got pulled over one night, and the policeman, took my driver's license, ran my plates, did what they do. And he came back and handed me my driver's license, and I grabbed them, and he still held on to my driver's license. And he said, "I'll tell you what, I will not give you a ticket. I will only give you a warning if you agree to go out with me." And I remember thinking, ticket or warning? He is cute. Okay, what do I know? I'm only 18. You all at 18, I know you think you know everything. And you do know some stuff, but you don't know stuff, let me tell you. So I agreed to go out with him. And he asked me, this was a very small town, and he asked me if I knew this bar. And I said, yes, my older brother goes there. My older brother happened to be there working as a laborer for my dad. So anyway, I met him there, made sure my brother was there, and the guy was very nice. He was a gentleman. He was good looking. And honestly, I don't know how old he was. I believe he was in his late 20s, maybe 25, somewhere 25, 26, 27. I don't know, somewhere in there. I know he wasn't over 30. I actually don't think I knew how old he was. But anyway, my brother knew him because of going to this bar. So anyway, I'm going out with him. I was dating him for about a month. He was divorced and had young kids and never met the kids or anything like that. We just dated, and like I said, he was a gentleman. He was really just a really nice guy. And after about a month, things changed. So within a span of a week, he showed his true self. So he started to be more forceful in his actions and attitude and character. And I remember the very first thing that kind of was a red flag for me was I was in the bar one night with my brother, and I wasn't drinking because I wasn't old enough, but I was drinking soda. And he came in, he acknowledged me, and then he went up to the bar, this policeman, and I watched him hand the bartender cash, and the bartender handed him back a handgun. And I'm like, that's not right. That can't be right. He's a policeman. He wasn't on duty, but I even said something to my brother, and my brother's like, oh, because I told my brother, actually my exact words were, is he a dirty cop? And my brother said, no, this is personal stuff. He's just buying a gun from his friend, the bartender. And I'm like, okay. So the last date we had, I knew I had to end it, because that night he was particularly being forceful. He didn't force me to do anything. I wasn't raped or anything like that. He was just, I can't explain it. So anyway, I just knew that there was something off about this guy. He wasn't acting like he was the first month. And so he asked me if I would meet him because he asked if I had to work the next day. I was an assistant manager for a store in the mall there. And I said, yes, I was working. He said, well, before you go home, you want to stop and have a drink at this particular bar? You want to stop and hang out for a while and get something to eat? And I said, well, I don't know. I'm not sure, because I thought my daddy had something for us to do, a family thing for us to do, but I'd let him know. I did not let him know, and so it was 2 days later. I didn't talk to him, I didn't call him, I didn't let him know anything, and so 2 days later, I'm at work, and here he comes walking up, full uniform, including the sunglasses, walking through the mall, because I was out, I stuck out so I could see down the mall, and he just was walking like he was like God or something. And he walks up to me and he takes his sunglasses off. And I'm waiting on customers. This is how much balls this policeman had. Took his sunglasses off and he said, "You stood me up." And I said, "I didn't stand you up." And then I finished taking care of these customers. He said, "Yeah, you did. You stood me up." And the way he said it and the expression on his face was so mean. It just scared me. And I said, "No, I did not stand you up. I told you I would let you know, but I've been busy. I'm trying to get rid of this guy." I was very shy back then. I was a nice person, and I never want to hurt anybody's feelings, even if they're not being right with me. And so I just, he was scaring me that day. And he said, "Well, I'm going to be at such and such tonight. Can you join me after work?" And I can't remember his exact words, but he was being forceful. He was coming off as, "If you don't join me, you'll regret it." And it just scared me. Police have the power. They are in charge. And I even knew that then. And I was just scared that he might have me arrested if I don't go out with him. I didn't know. Anyway, I never saw him again, but he did drive by my parents' house a few times. I caught him following me a few times, and I just up and left town. I just went back to where we used to live, and so, I could live on my own. I was 18, so that is that story. My second police story was, I'll tell you where this one was at. Brighton, Colorado. And for the first part of my adult life, we lived in Loveland, Colorado. And I have a younger brother who's 11 years younger than me. And he was in high school. I think he was a senior at the time. I was about 30, 31, somewhere around there. And he wanted to go to Denver to see Hulk Hogan wrestle. And he asked me if I wanted to go, and I said, sure. And so I drove down there, and my brother, and two of his friends were in my car, and then another group of my brother's friends from high school were in another car. So we went. It was great watching Hulk Hogan wrestle. And then we were coming back, and it was really, really late. And just before we were just barely out of North Denver. And my brother's friends in the other car pulled up beside us on the I-25. And my brother thought, he was sitting right behind me in the back seat, and he thought it was funny to roll down his window and moon his friends in the other car. I didn't know what was going on until one of his friends in our car told me he just mooned his friends. I'm like, do you really think that's really funny? I don't see the humor in it, sorry. And so not too long after that, wow, 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 you hear the sirens. Just after the Brighton exit, I get pulled over. They run all my stuff, and he said, I pulled you over. He asked me, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, no, I don't. I said, I know I wasn't speeding. And he said, no, he said, I pulled you over for playing on the highway. And I gave my brother up. I said, I never gave him permission to do that. And he said, doesn't matter, you're the one driving. How fair is that? I couldn't just tell my brother, get out of the car in the middle of the freeway because he did what he did. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, I get arrested because I had a warrant out for my arrest because I did not pay some parking ticket for $15. They handcuffed me like a common criminal. And, I had a very, very busy life back then. I was a single parent. I worked 2 jobs. I was just, it's just something I forgot. That's my only excuse. But they arrested me, took me to jail. I get there, and on the way there, I'm like, don't cry, don't cry. Once you get there, you call Daddy, And so we get there, and they do what they do, and I get my phone call, and I call Daddy, and I'm like, Daddy, they got me down here, they arrested me. They're gonna strip search me. You gotta get me out of here before then. And my dad's like, don't worry, and he talked to the cops. And apparently, my dad didn't have enough time to get me out before, I don't know, they closed down or something. There was some reason. So I had to spend the night there. So I get changed into the jail clothes, and you walk down these stairs and into this big area where they got tables where they eat, and then all the cells around. And just before we started walking down the stairs, I'm like, I've watched TV movies. I know things. Act tough. Act tough, make everyone think you're tough, and no one will bother you. So I acted tough, Seems funny now, but I probably did look tough back then when I was meaning to. But I got in my cell, pulled the covers over my head, and I just bawled. The floodgates were open, and I couldn't stop crying for the longest time. And I just kept telling myself, shh, be quiet. Don't let other inmates hear you crying, you know. So the next morning I get up and we have breakfast, and I get bailed out. So I go upstairs, and they have this, it's like in the building, and there's like chairs out here and stuff in like a lobby. And within that lobby, they have a square room that's all glass walls. But that you walk through the door and you go in, and the whole stretch of the back wall is a glass window. It looks like an office behind this glass window, and then there's slots that they can pass your clothes to you and stuff. Within that glass walled room, on this side, it was a solid wall. No one could see through. And then they had a brick wall that came out like this within this room. And it was a very small room. But there was this brick wall that came out this way. So you got your solid wall here, the brick wall here, like a V shape. And you can still see the glass window back here where the office was, and the glass wall to this room. No one from the glass wall could see you if you were standing in the corner of this V-shaped little area. They hand me my street clothes through this slot and told me to stand within this V-shaped little corner, and I could get dressed there. And I said, I can't get dressed there. There's all you people back here. And they're like, no. You know, nobody will be back here. When someone's getting dressed there, no one's allowed back here. That just won't happen. You'll be fine. And it's not allowed. Nobody can come in here. So they reassured me. I didn't feel so reassured. I was a prude back then. I was very modest, very shy. And so I got my pants on, and then I had my shirt and bra sitting on the floor. I turned around to reach down to grab my bra because I'm naked from the waist up. And there is a male cop standing behind that window, staring at me, watching me. And I just covered up like that. And he just stood there. And I turned around, put my bra on real quick in a shirt. He stood there the whole time. I got out of there, and I told my family when we got in the car, and they're like, you got to go right back in there and report him. I said, no. They've got the power. They could arrest me again. I'm not doing that. I'm not a jail person. I can't go through that again. Just take me home. I got home and I tell my friends about it, and they're like, you have to report it. I'm like, again, no. They have the power. I don't have any power. There is no way in hell I am going to report them. So I didn't. You know, these days, you know, I've lived a lot longer. I know a lot more. I don't keep my mouth shut anymore. I'm still a nice person. I really don't like to rock the boat. I'm more of a peacekeeper. You know, I really don't get mad easy. The only thing that can really make me angry is doing something bad to a child. If someone comes after my family, yeah, you'll see, I'll have a completely different demeanor. Yeah, nobody messes with my family, and especially my grandkids. So anyway, that is my two bad cop stories. There may not be as bad, I guess, as other people's bad cop stories. I know there's a lot worse stories out there than mine, but I thought I would just share. You know, we do have to hold police accountable. You know, they, I mean, I had a cop friend, and he was not one of these bad cops. And he once told me that policemen have to have the confidence to know what they are doing. They just have to be very confident. But there is a difference between being confident and being on an ego trip or a power trip. And he even told me that sometimes they do struggle with some policemen like that, and they have to call them in. And if they don't change their ways, then they get the boot. So anyway, I wanted to come on and share that with you all. And geez, I hope you're all having a great day. I'm making friends on YouTube, and I love it. It will fill my days with joy, you know? And I just want you all to keep in mind that this all is new to me. And I've got a lot to learn. I know that. And maybe I'll have to change some things up and make myself bullet points if I'm talking about something very serious. If I'm talking about something, a story on someone else's channel, maybe I should bullet point the facts so I don't get them wrong. You know, it's just my disability, and I guess, you know, I have to do things to work around that. But just because you have a disability does not mean you should not have a YouTube channel. I encourage anybody with a disability to start a YouTube channel. I'll be the first to subscribe, I promise. Anyway, you all have a wonderful day. Oh, you got to meet. So I'm at my daughter's because my apartment does not have a washer dryer hookup. And so I come over and do laundry, and I dog sit a couple times a week. I can't have a dog because unless I could afford a vet bill, I just can't own a dog. But I'm a big dog lover, and my daughter's got a dog. I call her my grand dog, and her name is Miley, otherwise known as Queen Miley, because she's definitely the queen of our family. Let's see if I can find her. Miley, come here. Miley, Miley, Miley. Where's my baby? Come here. Treat? Treat, treat. Where'd you go? Well, I don't know where she went. Well, maybe you can meet her again another time. Anyway, thank you so much again, and I hope you all have a wonderful day, and may many blessings come your way, and always remember to be kind. Thank you so much. Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say bye-bye? Mamma has to go home now, but I turned a movie on for you. It's called Go Dogs Go. Yes, so you have something to watch while we're gone. Say bye-bye, Miss Queen Miley. Oh.